Good evening and welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program this evening, the gloves are well and truly off between the Election Commission and the BJP after the senior BJP leader Arun Jaitley, among others, including Narendra Modi, alleged that the Election Commission was biased and that the returning officer of Varanasi was delinquent in his responsibility. This after the BJP categorically rejected the explanation of the Election Commission that there were security concerns, which is why Narendra Modi was denied permission for holding a rally at Benia Bagh today. Now the Chief Election Commissioner has hit back. Not only does he stand by the returning officer of Varanasi, V.S. Sampath has appealed to senior leaders to show greater maturity while referring to the Election Commission. He also categorically dismissed all allegations of the Election Commission's lack of neutrality. Well, the big focus this evening is the clash between the BJP and the Election Commission a threat to our democratic ideals, or is the BJP justified in saying nobody is necessarily above board? If there are questions to be asked, then people must ask them. But let's begin with what you see on the big screen over there. These images, live images coming in from Varanasi, because permission or no permission, Narendra Modi and the BJP have converted the clash with the Election Commission into a roadshow. Denied permission to hold his rally in Varanasi, Modi, who addressed a gathering at the Banaras Hindu University, has driven down in his motorcade to the BJP office in Varanasi. He's quite clearly not reached the BJP office because this is what has been happening now for quite some time. Let's cut to these pictures full frame to give you an idea of what we see. In a sense, it is a reminder of what we saw a few days back, albeit with smaller numbers. A few days back, when Narendra Modi had filed his nomination from Varanasi, during the daytime, there were lots of people, lakhs of people. Now, the images that you see on the left-hand side of your screen are images from just a little while earlier on. So those numbers still very, very considerable. And the images on the right-hand side of your screen are images from now. Narendra Modi was supposed to hold a rally in Varanasi today. That's what the BJP wanted. They did not get that permission, but instead it seems that the BJP and Modi have converted the lack of that rally into what is nothing short of another roadshow in Varanasi. Look at those images on the left-hand side of your screen. These images just from a little while earlier on. And as you can see over there, thronging the streets of Varanasi once again are lots and lots of supporters of the BJP. We don't know the numbers as yet, but the numbers are very, very substantial. And as a result of that, and these images actually, this top shot gives you a clearer image of the numbers over there. Anant Zanane joins me now on the phone line. Anant, run us through these images that we are seeing. How close is Mr. Modi to the BJP office, and how has this effectively become another roadshow in Varanasi?
Well, the BJP would like to claim, Vishnu, that this is not technically a roadshow. Mr. Modi hasn't stepped out of the vehicle or emerged from it to wave to the crowds or shake hands with them. But yes, clearly this is, quite literally a roadshow of sorts, because it's been almost 3 hours now that Mr. Modi has been on the road to his party office in Sigra, and he's yet to reach that particular party office. This entire road leading to that particular office is, in a sense, completely full of BJP supporters. They have clogged the streets of the city, and it's also becoming increasingly difficult for Mr. Modi to actually reach that particular venue, because there are thousands of supporters who are out on the streets, because this is the first time that he's actually carried out such a drive through various other parts of the city. He had followed a specific dedicated route on the day of the nomination, but here he's going through narrow arterial routes of the city, which is what makes people come out also in large numbers to actually catch a glimpse of Mr. Modi. And this is perhaps his only engagement, a direct engagement with the people on the streets of the city, because he's not going to be doing any rallies in the next 2 days of campaigning.
So Anand, tell me this, has Narendra Modi stepped out of his car? Has he been engaging with people? when he'd gone to file his nomination, there were instances when he actually got out, he spoke to people amidst the crowds in Varanasi. Is that sort of interaction present today, or is it just large numbers of BJP supporters who are out on the streets following his motorcade or alongside him in his motorcade?
Well, those are the kind of visuals that we're not getting to see today for the simple reason that the BJP has not applied for a permission for a roadshow. Had this been technically a roadshow, this would have been perhaps an open vehicle where Mr. Modi had been on top of it and waving to the crowds, and obviously lots of crowds cheering him on the way to the party office. But this is technically just a drive from point A to point B. And the fact remains that this is going through a densely populated area. And as it is, Banaras is a very chaotic city. The public infrastructure is very poor here. And also there is very heavy vehicular traffic on the roads. So even if a few hundred people emerge on the roads and actually try and come anywhere near this long motorcade, it does lead to some sort of traffic snarls, and it even slows down Mr. Modi. And these are also BJP supporters who are in a sense leading this entire motorcade to the BJP office. So the entire drive has been really slowed down. A distance of barely 6.5-7 kilometers is being only covered.
Anand, just sorry to interrupt you, but I must ask. Roadshow is just a word. Officially, he can't call it a roadshow because he'd be in contravention of EC guidelines. But effectively, what we are seeing now is a roadshow. The EC didn't allow Narendra Modi to hold his rally today. Instead, he said there is nobody, and Arun Jaitley made this point yesterday, that there is nobody who can stop me from driving down the streets of Varanasi. So he is saying that he is driving down the streets of Varanasi, but this is nothing short of a political roadshow, just in terms of the flags and the massive support and endorsement which he seems to be getting.
Well, yes, indeed, and this, by the true sense of the word, a roadshow may not be technically qualified as a roadshow because of the simple reason that Mr. Modi is not stepping out of the vehicle and engaging with the crowds in that particular manner that we normally see a political leader do in a roadshow. That aspect of a roadshow is perhaps lacking, but it clearly demonstrates the fact that Mr. Modi is very visible also in these shots, waving victory signs to the crowds who are trying to catch a glimpse of him on the way. And this is obviously the BJP's also last-ditch attempt to actually make a public show of strength, because Mr. Modi is not going to be doing any more rallies or roadshows in the days ahead.
Okay, Anand, we're going to leave it over there, but we're going to come back to these live images in a little while from now. And these come on a day when there has been nothing short of a war of words between the BJP and the Election Commission. What has this all been about, and how has the Election Commission now responded to the allegations or the charges of the BJP that the returning officer in Varanasi was being delinquent in his responsibilities in not granting the permission to Narendra Modi that Mr. Modi had sought to hold that rally in Benia Bagh? This is the war of words between the BJP and the Election Commission, which in a sense broke out yesterday and today.
जो लोग बड़े परेशान हैं मोदी से, उन्होंने ऐसा चक्कर चलाया, ऐसा मैच फिक्सिंग किया कि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने मोदी को काशी में सभा करने से रोक लिया.
The commission felt that they have no reason to deviate from the perception or decision taken at district level. Commission would not like to substitute its judgment to the judgment of local authorities at the field level.
इलेक्शन कमीशन पिछले 3 चरण में बुरी तरह विफल गया है, और मैं बहुत जिम्मेदारी के साथ भारत के इलेक्शन कमीशन पर पक्षपात का आरोप लगा रहा हूं.
Commission is not afraid of anyone, any political party or any entity. We would only appeal to the senior leaders in different political parties to show greater maturity in discourse while referring to constitutional body like Election Commission.
Commissioner over there hitting out in a manner in which we're not used to seeing CECs do in the past. But again, that's because of this showdown between the BJP and the Election Commission, and the images that you see on the screen are what is happening now. In a sense, a controversy between permission not being granted to the BJP to Narendra Modi snowballing into what is effectively a roadshow. The images are of the motorcade of Narendra Modi as it rolls down the streets of Varanasi towards the BJP's office there in the city. So permission was not granted to hold a rally, but the BJP repeatedly making the point there is nobody who can deny Mr. Modi permission to actually travel on the streets of Varanasi. So while he is not engaging people on the streets, he is not getting out and meeting them or addressing them as he did on the day that he filed his nomination. It's quite clear that this is a show of strength in Varanasi, and the point that the BJP has been trying to prove all along seems to be playing out in these images. What is that point? That nobody should have the right to stop a candidate from a particular constituency from campaigning in his or her constituency. That is what the BJP has been trying to say. Now, a little while earlier on, you heard the Chief Election Commissioner making his points on how he felt that the language or the manner in which the Election Commission was targeted was unfortunate. He said we appeal to senior leaders to show greater maturity in discourse. But this is what Arun Jaitley told my colleague Barkha Dutt earlier on.
Here in the scorching sun of Varanasi, the political heat is actually much higher than the scorching sun. With me here at the place where the BJP is leading a dharna against the Election Commission is Arun Jaitley. He's leading this dharna. He's surrounded by BJP supporters. We're at the Lanka Chowk in Banaras. Mr. Jaitley, you and Mr. Modi have openly questioned the neutrality of the Election Commission. The Election Commission says it is both surprised and disappointed by your response. They further say that Ganga Snan or Ganga Pujan ki permission to de di thi. Permission has been given for 4 of the 5 events that were asked for by the BJP.
I think this is the most fraudulent stand the Election Commission has taken. Which are these 4 events? The first event is landing of helicopter. The second event is takeoff of helicopter. The third event, which for 48 hours is not given, is meeting 150 people. The fourth event is a puja at Ganga. Yes. These 2 permissions reached me at 2 o'clock past midnight.
Which permissions are these, if you can show them to us?
These 2 permissions reached one of our workers at 2 p.m. These are at 2 p.m., 2 a.m. last night it reached us.
For Banya Bagh?
No, these are for Ganga Snan and this. But
they reached you at 2 a.m. But he would argue he announced it much earlier.
That doesn't matter. He has, at 8 o'clock, I had withdrawn all applications, saying since permissions have not been granted, I can't organize these events tomorrow. These are not automatic events. You have to organize the events. Now, for a face saving, he just delivered them at our residence at 2 a.m. yesterday. But do you contest an election by addressing 150 people? Do you contest an election by just going to Ganga and having a pujan there? You win elections by addressing rallies. And he says, I am not going to allow you to hold a rally.
He's citing security, and the Election Commission is saying this.
I have with me a letter given to us yesterday morning, that is 7th, allotting Benia Bagh to us, asking us to deposit 10,000 rupees.
This permission was given to you. Then why did you say you had not got permission?
We gave this, deposited the money, and then he withdrew the permission.
So you had initially got permission for the Benia Bagh rally?
And he withdrew the permission. In the withdrawn permission, he says that in 1991, 23 years ago, there was a problem here. But in the last 23 years, has no rally been held in Benia Bagh? To dig up a grave of something happening 23 years ago, and then he says, why don't you go and organize it in an alternative ground where after the D, the total capacity is 2,000. We have therefore decided, I expected the Election Commission to intervene. The Election Commission of India is a mute spectator to an event where an election is being contested in one of the most closely watched seats in India. One candidate, the prime ministerial candidate, is denied a permission to address a single rally in Varanasi city on some pretext or the other.
Why do you believe the Election Commission has responded in the way you are accusing them of?
I do believe that the Election Commission is unable to exercise its jurisdiction.
Because it's biased? Is that the
I am not for a moment suggesting...
Mr. Modi questioned the neutrality of these.
Well, if 2 candidates are allowed and one is not allowed...
Who are the 2?
Well,
when Kejriwal was allowed.
The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party is allowed. Rahul Gandhi will be allowed a road show. Doesn't Rahul Gandhi have a security consideration? Why do you use a security consideration only against Mr. Narendra Modi and not against Rahul Gandhi? Well, according to me, this is what the Election Commission has done is, it's an albatross around the neck of the Election Commission. They'll have to reiterate their credibility for years to come. This one incident, they had to intervene and say, well, rallies are allowed in every election.
What about security? You don't accept that? You think it's a bogey?
Well, if you can't organize security, then get out, let somebody else come in your place.
The EC letter back to you.
Well,
The
let me
EC
tell you.
reply to you saying the state cops
Well,
are back.
if security is a ground, then in Naxalite areas, in Maoist areas, not a single meeting can be held. In Jammu and Kashmir, a single meeting can't be held. Now in Jammu and Kashmir, meetings are being held. In Maoist areas, meetings are being held. But is Varanasi so pros to security that in Varanasi, meetings can't be held? Are we so naive? Were we born yesterday that we can't see through this argument?
Arvind Kejriwal is accusing you of converting this into a moment of political mileage. He says if Mr. Modi wanted to do the Ganga Pujan, he could have done it just like Mr. Kejriwal did.
No, but we had withdrawn our application for Ganga Puja.
Why did you withdraw?
I withdrew it because for 48 hours I was struggling from pillar to post. I had personally spoken to the Chief Election Commissioner. I saw the entire election machinery of this country completely helpless. You can't be allowed Ganga Pujan for 48 hours, I keep trying. You can't be allowed a meeting of 150 eminent citizens. Now what is this fraudulent stand of the Election Commission? We have given you helicopter landing permission, 1. Helicopter takeoff permission, 2. 150 people you can meet. And Ganga Pujan you can do. These are 4 out of the 5 permissions. But rallies we are not allowing you. But we are allowing rallies and road shows.
I ask you again, is this bias or is it timidity? Because you've used both
It
words.
could be either or both. As far as I am concerned, the net and inevitable effect of all this is I can't hold a rally. And if I can't hold a rally, I am not going to take it lying down. I will offer a satyagraha in Delhi. I will offer a satyagraha in Varanasi. And Mr. Modi will singularly, without any political supporters, drive through the streets of Varanasi. And
Won't that be a statement of political strength? Isn't that what the BJP wants it to be?
Well, which party gives a statement of political weakness? We always give a statement of political strength.
No, your opponents are saying you've converted this crisis into political opportunity.
Well, we've converted this crisis into a struggle for democracy.
Last question. There are residents here who say that in the past, this particular returning officer, whom you called a delinquent returning officer, has actually done good work for the city before this controversy. Is that a feedback you've got as well? And do you accuse the returning officer of acting on his own, or do you, since you've charged him, do you think he's acting on behalf of?
I'm not concerned whether he was a good academic student or a good district magistrate or not. As far as I am concerned, he is a delinquent in as much as he's playing ducks and drakes with us in the matter of granting permission for holding rallies. Let's be very clear. What face is India going to show to the rest of the world if we have an election commission in this country which says, I condone the act of the returning officer, which will not allow the prime ministerial candidate to hold a rally in his constituency?
What do you want the EC to do now for this crisis to
The
diffuse?
least the EC has to do is transfer this returning officer immediately. This officer will play mischief till the very end. And secondly, as far as these rallies are concerned, atone to its mistake and even now announce that in Beniabag, just as a written permission was granted, which has been withdrawn, was given to Mr. Modi and is again given to Mr. Modi.
When was this permission exactly given for Beniabad?
This permission was given to us on our application on the 7th morning. We were asked to deposit 10,000 rupees. We deposited 10,000 rupees. On the 7th at midnight, 2 o'clock, we get this reply. Well, it's being withdrawn.
Didn't he initially say the grounds were booked as well? There
Well,
was some
that's the first ground. Before the first permission was granted, day before yesterday, he said, one Mr. Khan has booked a ground. We said, has Mr. Khan deposited the money? That's the evidence of booking. He says, no, I have exempted him from depositing the money. Obviously, it was an antedated application.
Arun Jaitley, thank you so much for talking to us. The BJP here digging its heels in and saying they will settle for nothing less than the transfer of the returning officer. Now, this is a full-blown war between the BJP and the Election Commission.
Well, a full-blown war between the Election Commission and the BJP, which has snowballed into the images that you see on your screen. Let's just cut to these images. These are live images which are coming in from Varanasi. The BJP will not likely call this a roadshow. Effectively, that's what it's become. The BJP was denied permission to hold a rally in Beniabag earlier today. But yesterday, Arun Jaitley made the point, and they've acted out, they've carried out in what he said, that look, there is no force that can actually prevent Mr. Modi from driving down the streets of Varanasi. Now, in the process of doing that, there have been thousands and thousands of people, and again, we don't know these numbers, it could be substantially larger than this, who have been thronging the route following Mr. Modi as he makes his way to the BJP office. So Randeep Surjewala, who joins me, the spokesperson of the Congress, and with me in the studio, Subramaniam Swamy, the leader of the BJP, Sanjay Kaul, the founder of the NGO People's Action, also with me. Randeep Surjewala, let me ask you this. From a political standpoint, don't you think the story has really moved beyond whether or not Mr. Modi should have, or Mr. Jaitley should have been having a clash with the Election Commission, to the political significance of this roadshow? Isn't this your worst nightmare? What is happening in Varanasi right now as we speak? Mr. Surjewala, can you hear me? All right, we'll get that line back with Randeep Surjewala, but these images now, for the first time in the last little while that I've been watching this very, very closely, we see Narendra Modi actually exiting his vehicle. It's unclear if he actually reached the BJP office in Varanasi, but that is his destination. Let me just go across to Sanjay Kaul. All right. Before that, let me go across to Dr. Swamy. All our lines are having lots of issues today. You're here, fortunately, you're not on an OB line, but we've got these images coming in. I mean, it's just a play of words. Road show, no road show, rally, no rally. How would you describe what is happening now from a BJP standpoint?
This is the most spontaneous assembly of the public that we have seen for a long, long time. I think maybe in 1947 when the independence was declared, and then in 1977 when you had this.
Was it as spontaneous as his nomination filing the other day?
Well, of course, this is going to be much larger, and the fact
is
that
this is going to be larger than that?
Yes, and then moreover, that was announced, and the route, everything was announced. Here, this has all happened spontaneously, and this is a great tribute to Narendra Modi, and I think unwittingly, whoever has conspired to deny him the permission has made a big fool of everybody, except the gainers, namely the BJP.
That being said, do you believe that this war of words which is broken out between the Election Commission and the BJP is sad, is unfortunate? Perhaps Mr. Jaitley took it too far, perhaps Narendra Modi took it too far?
Well, I think, you see, there is the justifiable anger because you're there on the ground there, you're in the hot sun, you're organizing, there's so much tension, how to ensure it's a peaceful assembly, ensure that all the people are able to come without the city being clogged up. So in all of a sudden you cancel the permission, or you give it just a few hours before it is to it upsets everybody. Even 150 strong inside the room assembly, they cancelled the permission. How can you do that? It is totally illegal. There are Supreme Court judgments which say that these are even in the emergency we could hold meetings inside rooms. The only time this kind of thing has happened, I think, would be in a total dictatorship.
Okay. Randeep Singh Surjewala, we lost your line earlier on. I just want you to react to these images that we are seeing from Varanasi. Doesn't this represent a worst case political scenario for you? Another show of massive support for Narendra Modi?
What is happening repeatedly, both on part of BJP and Mr. Modi, exaggeration in order to score brownie political points, denigration of constitutional bodies like Election Commission, intimidation of bodies like Election Commission of India. Mr. Modi is not fighting a municipal council election. He is leader of a national political party. The other day in West Bengal, he said, let Election Commission do what it wants. We just heard Mr. Jaitley saying the fraudulent plan of Election Commission. Is that the fashion that we are going to treat constitutional bodies who are obligated to perform a certain duties? You can disagree with them at times, and we do also, but you do not denigrate and intimidate Election Commission as Mr. Modi, Mr. Jaitley and the entire BJP leadership is trying to do. Number two, I just want to make a short point to you. Mr. Jaitley forgot to mention that on 6th of May, Mr. Vidyasagar Rao and perhaps a representative of Mr. Modi in Varanasi sought an alternative permission for an alternative site which was granted. It's in hindsight that Bharatiya Janata Party, which was seeking to make political capital out of a known issue, sought to reject that request and insisted on Bania Bagh. All that I am trying to point out, they seek permission for Ganga Snan which is given, they seek permission for a meeting that is given, they seek a third permission for a public meeting which in the wisdom of the election commission and on security ground they say don't do it here, do it somewhere else. Is it such a crime? And on second
I understand
itself,
the
in
points.
Varanasi itself,
I understand the points you're making on whether permission was given, why it was withdrawn, how the BJP you believe must respect it. I'm just trying to move beyond that, and look at what is happening now, because I mean, whether or not there were protest rallies, whether or not a rally was allowed, what we see now is a nighttime repeat in a sense of what happened a few days ago when he filed his nomination. And so when the BJP says that there is a wave, right, how can you deny that? If you look at Varanasi, look at these images. I mean, it's quite something. There's no denying these numbers. We now have top shots playing out and the numbers are huge.
So the short point that I want to make is, are we going to continue to repeatedly and flagrantly violate the EC mandate and show an affront to them? Fair enough, if you are not going to give any regard to constitutional bodies. What is Mr. Modi doing today? Mr. Modi is effectively conducting a road show in negation of the EC directive. Is that the way we are going to conduct free and fair election? And is that the way we are going to respect majesty of the election? Yes, in narrow bylanes of the holy city of Banaras, whenever you conduct such a road show, there are n number of people and there are a lot of BJP supporters there. I understand that. But the short point is that the fashion we are going to conduct democratic institutions and regard for them in this country? And is that the way that Bharatiya Janata Party and the leader that they are seeking to project going to respect Constitution of India?
Okay, Sanjay
How do you expect him to protect or preserve the rule of law if he is the one who is going to be violating it repeatedly?
Makes the larger point that there is a rule of law, there is a process of political conduct, and it's all very well to say that look, there are thousands of people out there on the streets of Varanasi, but there is a way in which our democracy functions. How would you reply to that? That let's not misunderstand these images, because what is happening, the Congress party says, is wrong, it's not right.
Well, I don't respond to the Congress party or Mr. Surjewala. I'd like to go back to the fundamental points that you raised, and I think you already shown a package which very easily qualifies what we felt was absolutely incorrect and inconsistent in the behavior of the Election Commission in this issue. So that stands where it stands. Now, if you are talking about democracy and constitutionality, then you have to agree with the fundamental point of debate that we have here, and which is that will a candidate not be allowed to campaign in his constituency? Are you going to create conditions by which, now you want to debate about the veracity of the conditions? We debate them. We have already debated them. We have a problem. Do you have an answer? No, I don't think so. The Election Commission went on to make a lot of weak points and finally succumbed to the local DM's manipulations. The point of argument still remained. What is it about the security that you could say was available only to some other people and the concerns were not available to the other people? What was so difficult about acknowledging that a permission required some time so that people can organize themselves?
No, but Sanjay, I think the point that was being made,
in the night?
In fact, I've gone through what the Election Commission had to write in their letter, was that there is a fear that if there were 1 lakh people who actually descended on this particular ground, it would not just be a security risk for Mr. Modi, it could be a dangerous situation with so many people in a narrow confine. So there is a security concern for everybody over there.
Okay, so this is all right. So now that you're putting it like this, let me answer it this way. So what you're telling me basically is that it has been acknowledged now that Mr. Modi is basically the only leader for which this entire city and this election is more or less a given. Now you are basically saying that we have a problem of numbers, that a lot more people will come than expected.
No,
but you
I'm not saying that. This is what the EC is. This is what the EC has been saying.
No.
In their particular
exactly. You
note,
translated it. Yes, of course. Yes, you translated it, therefore I responded
Right.
to that, but it's understood between us what we are saying. So now the whole point is that it is very easy to limit the number of people. And one of the best ways of limiting it is that the area does not accommodate more people. Now the BJP has a pretty solid organizational network, and it would have ensured that this does not happen. We have had rallies everywhere. Mr.
That's
Modi
an
has had
important
500 rallies. What is it about? What is it about Varanasi?
Was that
What is
point,
it about Varanasi? is the
Sanjay,
question
was
we're
that
asking.
point conveyed to the returning officer? Give us that area. We will ensure, as a responsible party, that we'll restrict the numbers.
Yeah, one is that you have to understand that that is not a special case. That is always the case. It is always the organizers who have to worry about these things, number one. Number two, please also do not forget that there is a history here. This is not a one-off incident. This is not about Baliyabag and this particular rally. It is about 3 letters that Mr. Jaitley had to write. It's about flagging this issue by Amit Shah. This is about the concerns that we have been indicating with regard to the state government and its behavior in other areas of election also. Please understand that there is a background to this. The least that was expected of the Chief Election Commissioner was to take action, remedial action, or to intervene, and I'm sorry to say that they failed to do so.